The Japanese anime Mobile Suit Gundam has become well known for its mecha fights and depiction of war, with filmmakers and artists finding new stories to tell of it. 5 years ago, the first part of a new trilogy was released that depicted a resistance leader infiltrating the Earth Federation. Now, the second film in the trilogy, titled Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, The Sorcery of Nymph Circe, we cut between three principal characters as this battle continues. However, those expecting a lot of the action in the first film will find very little of that here. This is instead a surprisingly talky affair, and despite the potential political intrigue, the conversations rarely become all that interesting. So much of the film consists of largely banal conversations with not a whole lot happening. Of the three principal characters, the privileged Gigi Andaluza is the most compelling, although her lack of screen time with Resistance leader Hathaway is disappointing, as their dynamic was the best and most interesting aspect of the previous film. There are only so many scenes of characters talking in rooms before tedium sets in. Most frustrating of all are scenes set in dark rooms with the characters far away, and the conversations in offices are not much better. The previous film also spent a lot of time on dialogue-driven scenes, but the difference is the ones here don't develop the same level of interest. Even beyond the endless talking, the presentation leaves a lot to be desired. There are a number of musical montages scattered throughout the film that add to the slow pacing of the movie rather than something that truly enhances what the characters are feeling. You would think the main appeal of these movies would be seeing how the Resistance and their opposition use the mecha suits, but their screen time is surprisingly minimal here. We get some appearances of the suits here and there as characters work on them or fly them, but they're otherwise largely in the background or off-screen. When the action does finally ramp up, and we witness the battles in these suits, they are directed with plenty of whiz-bang energy, even as it looks like two action figures smashing into each other. Although it's more of a relief we're no longer seeing people talking in rooms. The animation is acceptable enough, although some of the combining of computer-generated effects with the hand-drawn environments is noticeable. There is the anti-war message, which is a focal point of this franchise, although it's not conveyed in the most compelling manner. Even the Earth Federation Colonel, Kenneth, becomes the least interesting of the three leads with his scenes. The Sorcery of Nymph Circe is intended as the second part of a trilogy, but the filmmakers did not come up with an intriguing enough story for this middle chapter. This is basically what would happen if a Star Wars movie consisted almost entirely of scenes with the Rebels and the Empire having meetings in their respective headquarters about what they plan to do, and only showing us one short battle with TIE fighters and X-Wings. It could be considered somewhat daring, devoting a large amount of screen time in a Mobile Suit Gundam movie to political maneuvering. It's just not directed or written in a particularly thrilling manner, although there still remains some curiosity about where the characters will go in the next film.